you've missed out on it, Caitlin Clark was named Time Athlete of the Year. And before we dive into the discussion, I do think it's important to provide the context and the background of this award. Time Person of the Year has been around forever, as long as I don't know, longer than me. And
actually, weren't we Time People of the Year the other year?
We should
in 20. No. Remember when they were like Time Person of the Year, and it was like,
oh yes, we're all winners.
Yeah, so I'm. It's on my resume. Okay. I'm sorry. Continue.
Right. No, we're all winners of this. But Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year is a relatively new award. I think this is it's 5 years old. First off, I'm taking all this from Andrew's 5 Out, which he went deep into his thoughts on this whole discourse, and it was fantastic, along with Hannah Hidalgo's Uprise and Notre Dame and all the storylines. Go check out 5 Out. It's on the website description below. It's great stuff. Caitlin, this is an award that is 5 years old, and Caitlin now joins the winning group. I'm just going to kind of list the winners just so we get the full concept here. The U.S. Women's national team for soccer when they won the World Cup and got pay equity for that. LeBron James in 2020, which was due to the NBA title in the bubble, but also with all of the racial equality aspects of that and the push that he pushed for within that. I'll just leave that. We're just going to keep going from there, Shawnee. 2021 was Simone Biles when she was a big advocate for mental health and also all the off the mat. I don't know how you would phrase that in gymnastics, but everything that was going on in gymnastics at the time, if you kind of know, on that aspect. Yeah. Aaron Judge just seems like he hit a bunch of home runs in 2022, and then Lionel Messi in 23, which is kind of rode off the World Cup and entering and changing the landscape of U.S. soccer, entering the MLS. Now we get to Caitlin Clark winning it. I before we get into the actual dialogue of this, I do want to preface this is not an accolade award. In the sense of this isn't you won the most championships this year or anything like that. Time is very much an award based on talk and who got the people moving and who got the discourse discoursing. And frankly, I can't think of another athlete that, for better or for worse, Caitlin Clark got the people talking.
For worse.
For worse. Yeah, for worse. I'm trying to be as neutral in this intro as I can before the actual opinion part. But for worse, the growth has been great, but the discourse is not. So now we're here. And the big thing that really kind of set this off was Sheila Johnson going on CNN, a part owner of the Mystics, and basically saying, to kind of sum it all up, is that the big takeaway that I feel like everyone kind of left with was that it should have been the WNBA players that won this award, not Caitlin Clark.
They won it already. I just said we all got Time Person of the Year. They already won it.
Yeah, so that's kind of where this whole thing leaked off, and then everyone kind of took sides. And I think a big point in this as well was the aspect of Caitlin in the Time article, kind of doing what a lot of people have been asking her to do for a long time, and to actively speak out for Black women in the league. So you kind of have on one side you have those people that have backed Caitlin Clark that do it with, frankly, just negative intent across the board, whether it be through racism, sexism, whatever. Like, there is something there that
gave into the woke mob.
Like, that is what everyone was saying. And then on the other end, you have kind of like whether it be like WNBA fans or women's basketball fans that you see on Twitter that were like, yeah, she shouldn't have won. Like, it just became a whole thing from all different sides, and it got messy quick. So go to the 5 Out to read Andrew's full thought, because like it is a very, very great larger kind of recap of it all and his thoughts on it. Shawnee, I know by the time this comes out, you have written a column on this as well. So I kind of just want to lob it up to you to kind of set the table here for our dialogue that we have about the dialogue. It's dialogueception here on Ball Up Top today. I just lobbing it up. Wherever you kind of want to take this and where your thoughts are as this is all unfolded, I'm all ears for it.
Why didn't anybody have this energy when Paige won National Player of the Year her freshman year? Because that's who didn't actually deserve it. That's who. No, but like it really, really blew me that an owner of a WNBA franchise got on and used the platform to do that. Especially considering everything she said in the timepiece was in line with what everyone has been asking for. She did a sit down postseason interview, right? So she can gather her thoughts. She can I don't know, do whatever research or whatever, like really take time to articulate what it is she's trying to say. So to me, I don't mind that coming after the season in a very like public platform like that. Like that's probably the biggest interview she's done all year. So I don't mind it being in that, especially since like she's been doing little things like she's on SNL, she's shouting out Black women, like she's in the picture shouting out, you know, with Maya Moore and, you know, Cheryl Miller and like shouting out Black women. Like she's done that repeatedly and everyone else seems cool with it. The legends seem cool with her. So I'm just kind of like, I don't have this big a deal. But like the biggest thing that really like boils my grits, it's just every time she wins something, it's like they expect her to recite the founders like she's pledging. And it's just like, can you stop? Because you don't even hold your league to this standard. Like, I want to take it back to a couple years when the WNBA had its 25th anniversary, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing was done. There was no historical component. There was no link from the past to how we get here. There was no storytelling. I remember I got into spaces with Nafisa Collier, and I asked her, I said, like, was the players, you know, hip to anything going on? She was like, no, we weren't really told anything and haven't, you know, like nothing was done. Diana Taurasi got a goat ball. And even with that, Greer, before you start, because I know the objection's coming. But it's like if we do an in-depth bracket and then we go player by player and we really look at their game so that when Diana Taurasi gets this GOAT ball, we understand how we got to this GOAT ball. I'm fine with it. I may still disagree with it, but I at least like the process of how we got here. They just, but like it's still now linking back to the past. Mm-hmm. We're still now talking about older players and who paved the way and who got us to this point. The league does a piss poor job of storytelling. They have for a long time and they continue to do it. And I don't like how every time Caitlyn wins something, it's on her to now drag the history of the league around her within her Prada bag and just pull it out on command. Like that's not her job. It's something that she's trying to navigate and like awkwardly do, because again, if it's something I won, why do I have to name all 144, you know, founding members of the W and tell their history every single time I do something? Like she doesn't even get to celebrate her own accomplishments because everybody has placed this burden on her that they don't place on the league. And it really, really bothers me because I feel like the league has blown a huge opportunity. And I said this in 5 Out when I took over for Andrew. A fan on Twitter was running Tisha Pinachero highlights and was like, Caitlyn's about to break this record. Here's who held it. And Tisha Pinachero was interacting with the tweet and was like, yeah, the record's in good hands. Like, you know, this was a time was had history.
Perfect.
Why doesn't the league do this? It's so simple. It was so simple. Get a fan cam for shit. Like, get a fan.
Put an R&B song behind those assists and let it rock on TikTok. Like,
hello, it could be so simple. Like, okay, Caitlyn's about to do this, but here's who did it first. Here's, you know, this, that, the third. This could have been teachable moments, but instead, everybody wants to like dig in on the Stan Wars and like, Caitlyn's getting too much attention. It's about Black, but like when you do that, you are not respecting the legacy of Black women. And I said this during the college season when she broke the scoring record and everybody suddenly cared about Pearl Moore and Lynette Woodard. And I'm like, where was all of this during the season? Like there should have been a countdown leading up to this. There was. And in the process of that, there should have been storytelling of, again, how we get here. So now when we get here, it's not a whole bunch of, well, wait, pump the brakes, stop liking her and appreciate these Black women that came before we even really had documentation and what's going, you know, and good storytelling and major hype. You missed the boat. So I think there is a opportunity now to right the ship. And I feel like we had no cap space for doing it because Andrew is doing the Legendarium and he's doing his big one.
Just might have been my favorite that he's done. Genuinely,
listen,
so good. No cap space. WBB.com. Go be the next.
Hello, be the next one and tell a friend to tell a friend. If you truly care about the game and you truly care about learning about it, and this is pumping up my colleague, like, go read that. Mm-hmm. Go learn something if you actually care, and stop using it as like a talking point. Because at this point, I feel like it's unfair to our legends that they get used. They only get used when it's like to try and bring down what she's doing. And I've been saying this the whole time. Get in the booth. Tell the story. Do what you need to do, because it should not be on one person now to do that when your league is not telling the story at all. She is the lightning rod, and you can capitalize off of that. She's not a journalist, so she can be like the most popular player, and you can say she has the responsibility to speak on certain things and do certain things. We've done that now. Now it's time to capitalize and turn it into something and take. We seem to like trim the fat now. So if all of the right-wing nut jobs that were clinging to her are pushed away by the woke nonsense, now it's time you can actually lean in and be like, okay, check this out. Because like from what I've seen, people outside of the right-wing nut jobs, they actually are enjoying learning about what's going on. Mm-hmm. So like,
like that's what made me kind of pissed about the situation. Like nobody interrogated what made Time go in this direction. Like absolutely, did she have a case? 1000%, as did many other athletes, let's say, who participated in the Olympics, for instance, mm-hmm. right? Stuff like that. I saw a lot of, well, why didn't it go to so-and-so? Yeah, so there are many athletes who had compelling cases, but not even like 48 hours after Caitlin is named Times Athlete of the Year, who are they naming Person of the Year? I'm not going to say it here. You can go look for yourself. But like the fact that like so few people made that connection to me too, and are just up in arms about Caitlin getting this award. Like, you are feeding into the bullshit. You are feeding into the bullshit, and they just got you like a puppet with strings. That like, and that is like just let her rookie season be what it was, an absolute all-time season from a guard in the WNBA period.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just let it be what it was. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, all of it kind of cheapens the like what I saw with my own two eyes from mm-hmm. May to September.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because we're not going to see this next year. We won't see this.
Oh, it's so wicked. I think for me, like when it comes to, you know, even more like kind of the enclosed like WNBA section of it, like seeing Sheila Johnson go on CNN, like I think for me the frustrating aspect of it is that if you want to call them quote unquote the neutral in this, like you've heard, maybe you're not super tapped in with women's basketball, but you've heard like what people have said about the WNBA and about how they're treating Clark and whatever. So you're like, but you don't like really know about it. I feel like this is something on a major platform that proved the things right in a way that might not be true realistically, but in this case, whether it be about being jealous or being about whatever, I felt like going on CNN and using the points that were used helped just propel that narrative.
Charles Barkley about to get loose on like, TNT, you know
like, and so like, while as a league wide thing, is that true? Probably not. But when you have someone like this at this big moment on Time Magazine, like a women's basketball player being named Time Athlete of the Year should be an immediate just kind of cause a celebration, frankly. Like from the where we've been to where we are type thing, and like the full like even if you just go back like 3 years ago. Like just seeing if someone was named this would be incredible. And so,
but like,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, because it just takes me back to what was it, 2019, 2018, when Candace Parker gets voted most overrated player in the league. I don't even know why they held that vote, to be honest.
I respect it. My messy ass.
Because they probably knew who was going to be.
Do it again.
They knew the headline.
Let's hear it.
Well, I think now we know, but like stuff like that. So like when you run this narrative that like nobody's jealous, nobody's ever hated anybody, I'm like, I watched that happen with my raw eyeballs. That was not. It was interesting.
Everyone knows hate.
Yeah. Because, like, bro, they asked her about it. I remember that interview. She was, like, in front of her locker, and they was like, yo, did you see you got voted most overrated? And, like, comments, thoughts? Like, oh, this is messy.
Ever asked in a WNBA media.
Yeah. So I'm kind of like...
Also, my thing is, like, jealousy is a regular human emotion. Like, you want to get it in check before before it turns to envy, before it turns to other, like, more serious emotions, right? But, like, there's not a person breathing on earth who hasn't been jealous at some point of their life, period. So, like, even the disdain for the label is just like, you're making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, it's just not that serious. You know what I'm saying? Either, like, you're athletes in a hyper competitive, like, yes, of course, right? There's a finite pool of resources available. Who gets the deals? Who gets the
especially women's basketball?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I mean, all year, like, it's been. We just came off, an incredible finals matchup, a few excellent rookie years, like a handful, truthfully, right, of like players who, and we're not talking about like the anticipation for next year, even though like we, like that is just where the focus should be. And also, Unrivaled is on y'all asses.
Hello.
That is where the focus is.
Hello. Because Unrival's doing their thing. Every new news I hear about Unrivaled, I just look at Kathy.
Hey,
Kathy.
Because if they get the storytelling, because remember how in AU, I'll give them this. I remember AU players were sitting down and they were like, this is the first time like media has come and like spoke to all of us. Like I've been in the league. I forgot who it was, but she's like, I've been in the league like 8-9 years, and like ain't nobody asked to interview me. But like with AU, they're telling my story. So,
hey man, better watch out because I'm right. Yeah, they're doing their thing, but I'm sure we can. And I know we generally try to avoid the discourse topic, but I think that this one was enough, especially in national notoriety or really global notoriety, frankly, for a lot of it.
Yeah, but read more tomorrow or when you're listening to this, read more because WNBA, get in the booth.
Yes, that is one of the ultimate takeaways from this is
WNBA, get in the booth.
From Caitlin's award to Unrivaled, in the booth now, stat.